He is hardworking and extraordinary DJ. Please welcome here on SK Asian Connection, T-Bone. Welcome, T-Bone, to SK Asian Connection.
Mabuhay, Lisa.
Oh, that's good. How did you know that?
I have friends. They may be in the room.
Okay, okay, let's do this first. First question for you. Were you a music lover ever since?
I was always into music. My dad was in choir. I had two uncles that were drummers and singers. So there was always band practices happening at my grandma's house. And so I used to go and watch them play music and sing music all the time with their bands and their choirs.
When did it start?
It started long before I was around. So all growing up, I was always exposed to music in my family and that kind of thing. So yeah.
So growing up, were there already signs that you wanted to be a DJ?
Well, my favorite toy when I was young was my cassette recorder, and I would record songs from the radios.
Cassette tapes.
Yeah, cassette tapes, and I would make myself kind of little playlists of my favorite songs from the radio. Whenever they'd come on, I'd hit record and make myself my own little mixtape. And so I think early on I realized there was something about music that I was really drawn to.
So can you remember your first gig as a DJ and what made it memorable?
Okay, well, I'm going to surprise you because I do remember my first gig. I was DJing with a local DJ company here in town, and it was a very small wedding, and I was to DJ for the wedding dance, and nobody danced.
Nobody danced?
No.
When was that?
It was a long time ago, but you know, it was interesting. Like, there was a lot of people at the wedding that didn't know each other, and I thought I was doing something wrong, but it was just the kind of room where they wanted more background music than dancing music. They weren't really into dancing, they just wanted to visit and get to know each other and that kind of thing. And at first I thought, you know, I'm not very good at this. And then as I kind of learned and I kind of was able to step back from the situation, I realized, you know, DJing is not about me. It's about what's happening in the room and adjusting to give them what they want. So that was my first DJ experience.
It's very memorable.
Yeah, I almost quit.
Okay, is there a certain discipline in being a DJ?
I think there are different kinds of DJs. There are some DJs that are more like entertainment DJs, and they want to bring a lot of new music to the table. And then there are DJs that are more into kind of watching the crowd, what's the crowd into, and so I think a good DJ brings a mix of some of those things to the table. Like, you've got to listen to your audience, you've got to watch what's happening in the room, who looks like they want to dance, who's not interested in dancing, and try to bring some music that they know and might like. And then there's a certain amount of thing that makes a good DJ, where a DJ will bring maybe something new to the table that they haven't heard before, but that has the right kind of energy or the right kind of feel, or it's just right for the moment, right? It's all just about being aware of the space and what's happening around you.
Wow. So what would you consider your first big break in being a DJ?
I got a job at a place called Overdrive International Nightclub here in Saskatoon, and I had done a lot of DJing, kind of fill-in DJing at different places around town. But there I was, they hired me to do regular weekends, and there's the guy that was in charge of the DJs. His name is Dan Fleming. And whenever Dan was in charge of the DJs, whatever club he was at, the sound system sounded amazing. He always made sure that it was a really good sounding, lots of bass, lots of volume, like you could really have an intense party kind of thing. So I was excited. And to me, that was kind of my big moment that I felt like, you know what, I've got a really important job, and this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Where did you get your nickname as T-Bone?
Well, I started off working at a radio station in high school as a work ed student.
High school?
High school, yeah.
Wow.
And in work ed, I was interested in music, and then the teacher actually got me in at the radio station. And my name is Brent, and the radio station, there's a guy named Brent Laux, and so he was Brent, so I had to be something else. And when I walked in, I was in the jazz band, and the jazz band got jackets that year. But instead of putting our names on our sleeve of our jacket, they put our instruments. So mine said trombone. So they said, well, that guy's name must be Trombone. Let's just call him Trombone. And that got dumb really fast. So then they shortened it to T-Bone, and it was kind of just a fun little nickname. But as I eventually started doing on-air stuff, they said, you should use the name T-Bone. And now I own that trademark.
You also work as a DJ on the radio.
Yeah.
How did you get that gig?
Well, I started off as a work ed student. After a couple of months of being a work ed student, they offered me a part-time job.
Okay.
As I was working part-time at the radio station, I realized, here's all kinds of different jobs that you can get at the radio station. And one of them is called a producer job, and it's like an audio engineer in a little recording studio. So I went away to school, became an audio engineer, came back, and eventually got on as a producer at the radio station, producing commercials and promos and splitters and things like that. And eventually started doing on-air work.
Oh, wow.
Did some on-air.
Any memorable moments while being a radio DJ?
Oh, lots. I think that people know that occasionally artists come to town and you get to meet them. If they're doing a concert, Britney Spears, when her first big album came out, we got to bring people backstage and meet her, and that was all kind of fun. But there are also promotional tours. So Justin Timberlake and the rest of the guys from NSYNC came to the radio station. They didn't do a concert here, but they were just promoting their new album. So one day they just showed up at the radio station and did an interview, and we got to meet them. And then one day the guys from Trailer Park Boys showed up, and we got to meet them. And one day Rupert from Survivor showed up, and he did an interview. Yeah, so people just sometimes show up, and they're just kind of promoting what they're doing. And
Looks like I love that job.
Yeah, me too.
So after you stint as a radio DJ, where did you focus your attention?
I wanted to do more things with sound that were outside of radio, so that's when I started working on advertising for TV, online, documentaries, film work, and that kind of thing, and movies. And so now that's what I do full time, is I work as an audio engineer, sound recorder, and mixer for TV, documentaries, movies, and advertising.
So they say that life is a series of ups and downs. What would you consider your uppest moment?
I feel a real connection when people are together. And I've had the fortunate opportunity to lead a song, as a singer, both in a rock band and in church. And I think when people are taking part in the song that you're leading, singing along or singing together, or enjoying themselves, that connection, that moment is really powerful. And that doesn't happen all the time. So when it does, you really remember it. And I would say that's
the uppest.
That's right.
What does the future hold for T-Bone?
Well, thanks to the creative SKAC going from a $2 million budget to a $10 million budget, it sounds like there's going to be a lot more production in TV, documentaries, and movies in the province. And that's good for everybody that works on those things, because it means more jobs get funded. And there's more work. So it's starting to happen, and I think it's going to be good for all of us, including the film festival.
Oh yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So having gone for so many things in life, what is your takeaway from all of that you've been through?
When I was at your film festival, I really noticed how much you guys were grateful for your sponsors. And that's what draws me into people like you and Danny, is really liking to bring people together. And in my mind, gratitude is the promise that there are more blessings to come. And so that's when I find I want to find a way to get involved with Kool-Aid Festival, or help you guys out however you can, because I see you guys as doing great things. So to me, I just look for those moments and those people that are doing wonderful things in our community and see how I can help.
Well, thank you so much, because you know what? It's not our expertise, and we need your expertise on that event.
Whatever you need,
Yes.
I'm available.
Well, thank you so much, T-Bone, for joining us today. Until, well, next time.
Sounds
of
good.
course.
Okay.